Hey everyone, in this video I will talk about how to actually create printable planners using Canva. Now obviously there are infinite ways of how you can actually create it, but I'm just going to show you some of the basics and then you will just go ahead and get some ideas of your own and implement what I show you on this video for your own unique planner in your own way. So, some things that you would need to keep in mind is how the design you want, like what kind of design that you want. So you can just look up uh, planners online and see some ideas, and then you just end up with a unique idea for your own, as well as the size of the paper because it's going to be like we can actually play around with that, and there are different planners with different sizes. But regardless of that, I'm just going to show you some of the things that you can implement after you get the design ideas and stuff, and just show you how to actually go about it with Canva. And it's going to be for free. You don't really need to upgrade to the Pro Canva, but it could even be better if you do. But for the free version, you can actually do a great planner or create one. So to start off, you can just sign up and log into Canva, and then from there you get two options: either start from scratch, or you can actually just look up in the search bar for Canva daily planners or whatever kind of planner that you want, and you can just hit enter. It's just going to show you a bunch of templates here that you can choose from, and then you can just click on them and edit them the way you like. However, you need to know that a lot of these are actually going to be pro. This is for free, I believe. And then, for example, this you can see it requires the pro for Canva, but there are a few that are going to be for free. So you can just pick one up and start customizing it to your liking. Now, this is one way. But what I'm going to do is going to be starting one from scratch. I'll use the A4 standard size paper, and then we will go from there. So you can just go ahead and click on create a design. Ignore the car alarm, sorry about that. And then we can just click on custom size if that's what you want, and then you can just look up what kind of size that you want, make sure the size is correct and all, and you can just enter it over here. But I'm just going to be using A4, so I'll just click on that. Okay, so now that we have the A4 size paper here, we can just zoom in if we want to make things easier for ourselves a little bit. Okay, so one thing I suggest that you go ahead and click on File on the top left, and then you go ahead and go to View Settings, and then from here just Show Rulers and Guides. This is going to show you the rulers here, which is going to help you with the sizes and ratio aspect and that kind of stuff. And you can also drag and drop rulers, for example, right here, if you want to match things precisely. But I'm not going to actually go ahead and create a proper one. It's just going to be a tutorial on how to do it. So some of the things that you will be using a lot are going to be elements. Elements can be used, for example, as a place for text. So if we just drag and drop this square like shape, we can just resize it to our liking, and then we can just enter a text in it. So for example, if it's a daily tasks kind of situation we're gonna do, let's just change the color to make it purple maybe, and then we can also adjust the transparency to be a little bit off or a little bit like transparent, and we can just add text and go ahead and click on add a heading and just type whatever you want. So daily tasks, for example. Oh, okay, and we can just drag and drop it to where we want, and we can just resize it and have it over here. And then we can just change the size to be 27, for example, or maybe we go 23. Okay, so this is kind of nice. Okay, so now what we would add to daily tasks is obviously some lines, maybe. So we just go to elements, and to add a bunch of lines or a line, you can just simply click on under shapes, you should find this line over here. You can just click on it and you can see we've got a line. Now what you can do is obviously resize it, and then we can also make it a little bit thinner by going to line weight and just dragging it to the size that we want. And we can just, if we zoom in, have it under the daily tasks and make sure it is the size that we want. Now, instead of actually going about and getting more and more lines the same method we did, we can just click on the line that we created and just duplicate, either by right-clicking and clicking on duplicate and then just placing it where we want it to be, or we can just do Control D and it's going to even place it on the same place we had the previous one. So once you duplicate and move it to a specific space and area, if you duplicate again, it's going to do the same thing again. So you can see same size, same place. So maybe we can also add, like for example, for daily tasks, maybe a check box. So if we just search for a box, we should find, you can see, by the way, there are plenty that are going to be actually like needed a pro version for it. But there are going to be also a lot that don't really require that. For example, this one right here. We can grab it. There's obviously better choices, but I just want to make this quick. So we can just zoom in, by the way, and just make things much easier for ourselves. Make it smaller, as small as we want it to be. And we can just place it over here. And again, you can just duplicate it. Again, this box is not the best, but you get the idea. You can just place it over here. And you should have, let me actually find a better one. If we go back to our elements, if we go to graphics, no box, hold on. Okay, I just found it under graphics, and you can just go ahead and you just can look for it, type whatever you want, and you will find it eventually. We can change the color to go black, and then we can just resize it and make sure it fits correctly, and then obviously we just duplicate and we just place it over here, and then we duplicate again, and it's going to be almost perfect like we want it to be. Now we can just obviously resize it the way that we want, or what we can also do is just select all by dragging in the left click, and then we go to the options, and we can also go to spaced evenly and then tidy up. Now it may not always work because we wanted all the elements to be tied up, so it's not going to work. So a little bit of manual work, and we can also use the tidy up, and it's going to work eventually the way we want. So this one is really messed up. I think I missed to place one block. But I'm not going to bore you with this anymore. You get the idea. Now let's go ahead and do another thing. A lot of people would love to add a grid for example, a calendar kind of planner thing. So to do so, you can just go to elements again. We can just type in grid and search for it. And you should find under graphics or over here, if we click on see all, you should find plenty of grids that you can choose from. So we can just click on this one and boom, we've got a grid. Now you can obviously manually also create one yourself by just placing a bunch of squares, which also could be a little bit better, because if you want to add an element shape, for example, if we just go to type heart shape, for example, and get a shape from here under graphics, maybe this one, and we want it to be in each square. It's going to be a little bit hard if we have a pre-made grid, but if you have a square that you just created like this one, we go back to elements and we go to this one. Let's just pretend this is the grid that we want. Oh, sorry, my bad. This one right here. And we want to connect a heart or shape to it. Where's our heart? It's right here. We can just drag and drop it. where we want. And we can just make it easier by just selecting both the square and the heart, and we can just click on group. And now it's one item. So if we move this, it's going to be moved with it. And if we also duplicate, it's going to also be with the heart. So again, it just depends on what you want to do. If you want to create a grid using this method, it's going to be better if you want to add an element to it or to each one of them. For text, you can obviously get the numbers. Just go ahead and click on text, or you can just copy this text or duplicate it, and then you can just drag and drop, and then you just double click and change the text to whatever you want. Again, with also whatever font you want. Now, I need to say something about the fonts. Fonts are not, since you can upload a font of your own, you need to check that the font is, that is of course if you want to sell the planner, you need to check if the font is for commercial use or not. Make sure you do that. Okay, so text, shapes, what else? Grids, the ruler. I think you've got everything that you need to create one. So I'm not really creating one right now because at the end of the day, it's going to be your own design, your own flow, your own creation. And I'm just trying to show you how to actually go and make things a little bit cleaner with it. Make sure you use the tidy up option quite a lot because it's helpful. But like we did earlier with the lines and check boxes, it didn't work properly because different shapes and different places, it's just going to be a little bit messy. But if you have just lines, do tidy up, and it's going to make things a lot easier for you. What else? I think that's all I have to cover right now. So you just basically, you will be using a lot of elements. You can just search for whatever element that you want to add to your planner, and then you can just add it. And it's really a play field of your own imagination. So go crazy and create beautiful ones. And I hope this video helped. Thanks for watching.